Okay, this is just a quick video on nodes and cleanup. I've got this image I brought in from Google. I'm going to go to Path, Trace Bitmap. I'm going to come in here. I always hit Live Preview with the image selected. That way I can see what's going on. This image just being a black and white image, really not much need to address just on the threshold. But something I don't think a lot of people know is you can go into Options. You got this Optimize Paths option. Now if I go ahead and just say OK here, it's created a path. I'll drag that up. That's with the stock or default tolerance setting. As you can see, I've got 218 nodes. I can take this same image. I can adjust this. Let's just go all the way up with it so we can see what it would do. I think 5 is as high as you can go. We'll hit OK. Now I just trace this again. Okay, we'll set this here. Now, as you can see, the first trace I did here is 218 nodes. This trace is 161 nodes. So playing with that tolerance, you can get different results and less cleanup right off the bat. And sometimes going too high with that tolerance can distort the image. As you can see with this one, it didn't make much difference in the overall look of it, so I would probably just go with this one. So let's delete this one. I'll close this window. Bring this down here. I can delete my original image. I don't need it. I'm going to come in here. As far as cleaning up nodes, there's no easy way. People want to know what the easiest way to clean them up. You just got to come in and highlight nodes and delete them. Hit backspace on the keyboard, delete them. Then I'll come in when I've got it reduced to how many I want. I highlight those. This node here, I mean, it looks pretty good. That doesn't look bad. It'd probably cut okay. But if you highlight these and come up here and use this tool, make selected nodes smooth. As you can see, that smoothed that out. That's a nice smooth contour now. You get a better cut that way. And I would just go around this image, highlighting nodes. I see a lot of people freak out when you do that. You hit Control-Z, those nodes come back, it undoes that last action. When I do that, it distorts the path there a little bit. It's not a big deal. You can grab this handle, pull that back to wherever you want it. You know, you just got to be willing to play around with it. You delete them, highlight them, smooth them out. You get nice clean cuts that way. Situations like this one here, I don't really need 2 nodes in that corner. I would come in, highlight them both, hover your cursor over one of them until it turns red, hit Shift J, join those two together. Now you just got 1 node in that corner. Now this one here, these aren't bad. You know, they're far enough apart, I would just leave them. Smooth them out. It'd be alright. Situations like this here, I don't need that many nodes in that on that corner there. I probably don't want that to be a sharp corner since the rest of them are kind of smooth. So I would just add a node here by double clicking. Add a node here by double clicking. Then highlight those 3, backspace. That looks a lot better. Smooth them out. Stuff like this, I want nice, clean, straight lines, but I don't want that many nodes. I would come in, highlight those nodes, backspace. As you can see, that distorted that shape. I could grab these handles and play around and try to straighten them out. But what I'd do on these is I'd highlight those nodes that I want straight paths on. Come up here and use this tool, make selected segments lines. Click it. That snaps them back to nice, clean, straight lines. And you can keep going around your path, highlighting, deleting. You know, and don't panic if you delete one and it distorts the shape. You can always go back, or you can grab the handles and clean that shape back up. Something else I do, you know, here, This is probably just being nitpicky. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Control Z. But where I've got a spot like this, I kind of want those to be symmetrical. So I would highlight those. I'll go to my Align and Distribute menu. Use this here, Align Selected Nodes on a Vertical Line. Click it, and that'll line those two nodes up. Then I would I'd want either two smooth corners or two straight corners, so I'm going to go with straight. I'd highlight those two, Shift J. Select these nodes, backspace, backspace. You know, see that distorted that a little. Here I would just pull the handles around. I don't really want it to be a super straight line because it's got a little bit of a curve to it. But just kind of clean it up and make it look like the other one. Like I say, when you get in corners like this, it really doesn't matter. You could just highlight and delete these. Myself, I like to highlight these. Hover over one, Shift J. Just kind of, I feel like it maintains the curve a little better that way. You go around, delete them. See how it looks alright. Smooth your nodes. Some of these might seem like extra steps, smoothing nodes out, but it just gives you a nice clean cut. It's worth it. Go around, select these nodes, deleting them, smoothing out straight lines, smoothing out nodes. You work your way around the drawing and clean it up like that. Unfortunately, there's not a simple way. There's not a one-click button that does it all for you. It's just something that takes time. You know, this here, I'd probably straighten this out by highlighting these two nodes. Nice, perfect straight line now. Here's one. I've talked about this before in other videos, but you can see this node here doesn't look like this node. When I highlight this one, it turns yellow and blue. When I highlight this little node, it disappears. That's because there's two nodes there. If I hit Control Z, if I grab that and pull it, there's one node laying on top of another one. That'll cause you problems. So highlight that, hover your mouse cursor over it until it turns red, Shift J. Now you've got one node there. Smooth them out, move on to the next spot. But that's how I go about cleaning up files. Going around, highlight nodes, delete them. You know, there's no super quick way of doing it. But you get faster with it with time. I mean, it's taking me a little extra time to do it because I'm trying to explain it as I'm going. But see, that's something though that they'll do too. I highlighted those two, hover over that one, hit Shift J. As you can see, it's skewed this out that direction. It's not a big deal. You just pull it back down the direction you want it to go. You can straighten it back out by selecting it, hold Shift, select that one. Now it's back to nice and straight. These three nodes here, I would just make into one. Highlight all of them, hover over one. There you go, Shift J. Ooh, I don't even know what I hit there. Smooth those out. See, like that, I don't even know what I did. I hit something I didn't mean to hit. Skewed that completely up. You hit Control Z, it takes it right back to where it was. It's not a big deal. Highlight these, delete those. Just work your way around the drawing. Cleaning them up, adjusting. You know, get in a spot like this, you don't want three nodes on an end. Backspace those. I would probably on this point highlight those two, make that segment align. Same here, highlight these two, hit that, and then I would highlight these two. You smooth those, and it'll just snap the two end nodes and give you a nice, clean, round, smooth end. Then I would probably go as far as highlighting both of them. I always go with last selected. So if I select this node, hold shift and select this node, and then go over here and align the selected nodes, that'll line them up. Then I would grab this handle here on this one and pull it out to match the other one. Now you've got a nice, real nice clean tip on your dart there. Then I would probably just get rid of these two nodes. Same deal, I would highlight these, make those segments. I would delete these. I'd probably delete these. Pull my handles around here about even. These I would align vertically. You know, and you just work your way around, take your time. You'll end up with a really nice clean cut file. This here, I would probably straighten this up. That looks a little better. You know, it's like anything else. You want something good, you got to put a little work into it. Take your time. See that, you know, I could freak out. Oh no, it changed the contour. I would just smooth both those. Pull these handles around. Straighten my contour back up. Looks good. Here, I'd probably add one here. Highlight these three. Delete those. Select those. Smooth them out. As you can see, I'm working my way around here. Taking the file is kind of messy. Putting a little bit of work into it. And ended up with a nice clean cut file. Select these. Hover over that one, turn it red, Shift J. You know, here I would probably add a node here. Select this node, delete it. Grab these two. Use this tool, make selected segments lines. That snaps those together, nice clean straight line. Then I would hit these on the corner, delete those, smooth these two. That's a nice clean corner. You know, and you work your way around. You don't have to get it down to where there's, you know, this might be a little cleaner than it even needs to be, but you want minimal nodes. You want them all smooth, clean contours. See something like this. You come in here. I don't really want that node going that direction. There's really not a need for that. I want a clean corner, so I'll select those two, highlight that one, Shift J. That did distort my D a little bit there, which probably wouldn't notice, but you just pull it back up. Smooth those out. Keep working your way around the design. Minimizing, cleaning up, smoothing nodes. Highlight that. Smooth those three. I'm going to leave those. I come in here. I would take those two. Hover over the one. Shift J. Join those two together. Minimize out. Or zoom out, sorry. Highlight those three. Shift J. Join those together. Probably don't need this node. Yep. You know, it's not a big deal. You delete them. If it changes it too much, Control Z brings it right back. I get rid of those three. I'll probably get rid of that one. Select the ones that are left. Make selected nodes smooth. I'm just kind of basically working around, repeating the same thing, but this is how you do it. I mean, you want a nice clean cut file, you just slowly work your way around, cleaning nodes up, reducing them, and you'll get it down to where you've got minimal amount of nodes, nice clean cuts. And if it's, you know, especially if it's a file you plan on cutting multiple times, it's going to be well worth the extra time to take your time and clean it up to where you get a nice clean cut. As you can see, I've got this pretty much down to where I'd need it. to cut. I mean, very minimal nodes. The only other thing I would do, personally, if I was getting ready to cut this, see, this is a 14.5-inch wide design. That looks pretty thin. You know, I would probably come in, just take a box, a circle, whatever. I would probably want that to be a little thicker than what it is. I mean, I would say that's maybe an 1/8 inch, maybe, holding all this end here on. So I would just take a box, I don't know, say I want roughly a 1/4 inch thick bridge between those two letters, and probably Control D, duplicate that. I'd probably want these letters joined with a similar thick bridge on there. Control D, duplicate that. Bring this in here. Rotate that around. That's going to be all the spots that were thin that's holding this design together. Drag a box right on them, Shift Control Plus. Then select the darts, Shift Control Plus. And then I would just come in here and smooth these out a little bit where they flow a little better. You know, highlight those two, Shift J. Probably delete that node. Pull that around. Smooth those. You know, might take and just cursor this over here. Come down here. I mean, I think people sometimes are afraid of nodes. Just, you know, you highlight them, delete them. Worst case, you don't like the results, you can go back. You just play around with them. They're a tool, you know. That's how you tell the computer which direction you want the torch to go. So you just got to get comfortable with manipulating and moving these nodes and handles. You know, and that's probably good enough. I'd probably send that to the cutter and cut it. You know, and if there's a situation too where you're not sure, I mean, you can just send it to sheet cam and check with your curve width set and see if their spacing will work. If you're not sure, I mean, it probably sounds dumb, but I'll just draw a little circle, symmetrical, you know, and if I'm just wanting to check it for curve width, I would just set it, say 0.05, lock it so it stays symmetrical, hit enter. You can drag this around and make sure your spacing is going to work everywhere. That way you know when you get to the plasma table, everything's going to cut. Nothing's going to be too tight to machine. Good to go. Like I say, you can check your bridges similar, or just draw a box or a circle and slap it in there, bridge it, and then move your nodes around. It's really not that bad. I think people are intimidated to work with nodes and afraid of it. And I think, you know, people come in and they delete a node and it skews the contour. They're afraid, like they've just ruined the drawing. Just, you know, you got to just go with it. It's not that hard. You just got to get comfortable with it. Okay, well, I hope that helps some of you guys out that are, you know, intimidated working with nodes, or just, you know, not sure what to do. Hopefully this video give you a little guidance. This is something else too in closing. I don't know if you noticed earlier, but when I did this contour, there were 4 nodes here. And what's happened is, with Inkscape, I came in here and bridged a couple spots. Inkscape's got a nasty little habit. When you bridge or union or difference a piece on here, sometimes it'll throw a node back in where you'd already removed it. So, you know, this one isn't bad, but a lot of times on drawings you need to look it back over after you union something to it, make sure it didn't add nodes in where you don't want them. But anyway, I hope this helps out. I mean, as you can see, the end of this, we went from 160 some nodes down to 82 nodes. Pretty clean, you know, nice looking design. Should cut good. I hope that helps some of you guys out. Thanks for watching. Bye.